Welcome back to my channel. Let we start the Flatshare season 6 second part. Leon lean back on bathroom door, eyes closed. No concussion and a sprained ankle. Could have been much, much worse. Got time to think about how cold I am now. Shrug off my wet clothes and turn the shower on to hot. I tap out a quick thank you text to Sosha. Phone is thankfully still functional, if a little damp. It was in my trouser pocket. I get in the shower and make myself stand until I stop shivering. Remind myself that Babs is with her. Still, dress faster than I have ever dressed before, and don't even bother with belt to keep up ridiculously oversized trousers that Babs has found for me. We'll just wear them low, 90s style. When I head back into the bedroom, Tiffy has scraped her hair up into a bun. There's a touch of pink in her lips and cheeks again. She smiles up at me, and I feel something shift in my chest. Hard to describe. Maybe like a lock clicking into place. Me, how's that hot chocolate going down? Tiffy pushes the other mug along the bedside table towards me. Tiffy, try yours and see. Someone knocks at the door. I take the hot chocolate with me as I go to answer it. It's Johnny White VI, looking very worried and also wearing comically large trousers. JW VI. How's our girl? I have a feeling Tiffy becomes our girl easily. She's the sort of person distant relatives and absent neighbors still like to claim some credit for. Tiffy, I'm fine, Mr. White. Don't you worry about me. She lapses into an ill-timed fit of wet coughing. JW VI fidgets in the doorway, looking miserable. JW VI, I'm so sorry. I feel responsible. It was my idea to go swimming. I should have checked you could both swim. Tiffy, once recovered. I can swim, Mr. White. I just lost my footing and got a little panicked, that's all. Blame the rock that knackered my ankle if you feel the need to blame something. JW VI looks a little less anxious now. Babs, well, you two are staying here tonight. No arguments. It's on the house. Both Tiffy and I try to protest, but again Tiffy descends into spluttery half coughing, half retching, taking some of the sting out of our argument that she doesn't need to stay in bed. Me, I should at least go. You don't need me now. That do Babs. Nonsense. It's no extra bother to me, is it? Besides, Tiffy needs looking after, and my medical knowledge doesn't extend much further than what a glass of whiskey can do. John, do you want a lift home? JW VI tries to argue his way out of this favor also, but Babs is one of those formidably nice people who will not take no for an answer. It's a good 5 minutes before they agree and head out the door. When they're gone, the click of the door makes me breathe out in relief. Hadn't realized how much I want quiet. Tiffy, are you all right? Me, fine. Just not a fan of, Tiffy, commotion. I nod. Tiffy smiles, pulling her blankets up closer. Tiffy, you're a nurse, how can you avoid it? Me, work is different. But it still drains me. I need quiet afterwards. Tiffy, you're an introvert, make a face. I'm not a fan of those Myers-Briggs type things that tell you your personality type, like horoscopes for business people. Me, guess so. Tiffy, I'm the opposite. I can't process anything without calling Gertie, or Mo, or Rachel. Me, you want to call someone now? Tiffy, oh, shit, my phone was in my. She spots the pile of her clothes, brought up from the shoreline by one of the 100 helpful strangers who followed us up the beach in procession. Tiffy claps hands in glee. Tiffy, would you pass my trousers? I hand them over and watch as she rummages in the pockets for her phone. Me, I'll go get us some lunch. How long do you need? Tiffy pushes a few stray strands of hair back from her face, looking up at me, phone in hand. That clicked and lock hums in my chest again. Tiffy, half an hour? Me, got it. Tiffy, are you all right? Is Mo's first question. Have you been to A&E? Gertie, on the other hand, is focused on the real issue. Why didn't you tell us about the bathroom incident before? Are you in love with this man you're sharing a bed with, and hiding it because you're going to end up sleeping with him? And I explicitly told you that the first rule of flat sharing is that you don't sleep with your flatmate? Yes, I'm fine, and no, but Leon examined my ankle with some help from a friend of his who's a doctor. I just need lots of rest, apparently. And whiskey, depending on whose medical opinion you're asking. My question now, Gertie says, no, I'm not in love with him, I tell her, shifting my weight on the bed and wincing as my ankle throbs. And I'm not going to sleep with him. He's my friend, is he single? Well, yes, actually. But, sorry, but just to check, Tiffy, has anyone examined you for oh shut up, Mo, Gertie interrupts. She's with a trained nurse. The woman is fine. Tiffy, are you sure you're not suffering from Stockholm Syndrome? Pardon? An A&E nurse is very different from a palliative care nurse, Stockholm Syndrome? Yes, Gertie says. This man gave you a home when you were homeless. You are forced to sleep in his bed, and now you think you are in love with him. I don't think I'm in love with him, I remind her patiently. I told you, he's my friend, but this was a date, Gertie says. Tiffy, you do seem fine, but I just want to double check, I'm on NHS Choices now, can you weight bear on that ankle? You with Google is not better than a nurse with a doctor on the phone, Gertie tells Mo it wasn't a date, I say, even though I'm pretty sure it was. I wish Mo and Gertie hadn't got into this new habit of answering the phone together whenever they're both home. I called Mo because I wanted to talk to Mo. It's not that I don't like talking to Gertie, it's just that is a very different experience, and not necessarily one you want after nearly drowning. You're going to need to explain this whole Johnny White thing to me again, Gertie says. I checked the time on my phone screen. Only 5 minutes until Leon gets back with lunch. Listen, I have to go, I say. But Mo, I'm fine. And Gertie, calm your protective instincts, please. He's not trying to sleep with me or entrap me or lock me away in his basement, okay? In fact, I have very little reason to think that he's at all interested in me, but you're interested in him? Gertie insists. Goodbye, Gertie. Look after yourself, Tiffy, Mo manages to say before Gertie hangs up. She's not big on goodbyes. I dial Rachel's number without pause. Asterisk. So the key point here, Rachel says, is that you are yet to have an interaction with Leon that doesn't involve you stripping down to your underwear. I'm grinning. You better keep your clothes on from now on. He'll think you're a, what's it called when you're one of those men who likes exposing themselves in the park? Hey. I protest. I do not, I'm just saying what everybody's thinking, my friend. You're definitely not about to kick the bucket? I feel fine really. Just achy and exhausted, all right then. In that case, make the most of your free hotel stay, and call me if you find yourself accidentally whipping your bra off during dinner. There's a knock at the door of a shit. Got to go, bye. I hiss into the phone. Come in, I call. I managed to put on the jumper Babs left me while Leon was out, so I'm now decent from the waist up. At least, Leon smiles at me and holds up a very full bag of what smells like fish and chips. I gasp in delight, proper seaside food. And he reaches into the bag and pulls out another one, handing it to me. I look inside, red velvet cupcakes with cream cheese icing, cake. The best kind of cake. Doctor's orders. He pauses. Well, Sosha said, get her some food. The fried fish and cupcakes were a bit of artistic license. His hair is nearly dry, the salt has turned it even cullier, and it keeps springing from behind his ears. He catches me watching him try and smooth it back and grins ruefully. You're not meant to see me looking like this, he says. Oh, and this is exactly how you're meant to see me, I say, gesturing in the vague direction of my enormous baggy jumper, pale face, and crazy matted hair. Drowned rat is a favorite look of mine, mermaid-like? Leon suggests, funny you should mention that. I do actually have a fin under here, I say, patting the blanket over my legs. Leon smiles at that, spreading out the fish and chips on the bed between us. He kicks off his shoes and sits, careful to avoid my swollen ankle. The food is amazing. It's just what I need, though I wouldn't have known it until I smelled it. Leon got pretty much every add-on to fish and chips you can imagine, mushy peas, onion rings, curry sauce, pickled onions, even one of those plastic-looking sausages they always have behind the glass, and we eat our way through it all. When it comes to the cupcake, finishing the last mouthfuls requires serious mental effort. Nearly dying is exhausting, I declare, suddenly overcome by sleepiness. Nap, Leon tells me. You're not worried about me falling asleep and never waking up again? I ask, eyelids already drooping. Being warm and full is amazing. I'll never take being warm and full for granted ever again. I'll just wake you every 5 minutes to check you're not suffering from brain trauma, he says. My eyes fly open. Every 5 minutes? He chuckles, already gathering up his stuff and heading for the door. See you in a few hours. Oh. Nurses shouldn't make jokes, I call after him, but I don't think he hears me. Maybe I only think of saying it. I'm slipping off to sleep even as I hear the door close behind him. I wake with a jolt that sends a shock of pain through my ankle. Crying out, I look around me. Floral wallpaper. Am I at home? Who's that man in the chair by the door, reading Twilight? Leon blinks at me, putting the book down in his lap. You went from unconscious to judgmental very quickly there. I did think this was a weird dream for a second, I say. But my dream version of you would have much better book taste. It's all Babs had to offer. How are you feeling? I give the question some thought. My ankle is throbbing and my throat feels horribly sore and salty, but the ache in my head has disappeared. I can feel that my stomach muscles are going to be painful from all the coughing, though, much better, actually. He smiles at that. He is very cute when he smiles. When he's serious, his face is a little severe, fine-boned brow, cheekbones, jaw, but when he's smiling, it's all soft lips and dark eyes and white teeth. I check the time on my phone, more to break eye contact than anything. I'm suddenly very aware that I'm lying in bed. Hair mussed and bare legs only half hidden under the blankets. 6:30? You were sleepy. What have you been doing this whole time? I ask him. He shows me his bookmark. He's nearly read the whole of Twilight. This Bella Swan is a very popular lady. For one who declares herself to be so unattractive, he tells me. Seems every single man in the book who isn't her father is in love with her. I nod solemnly. It's very hard being Bella. Sparkly boyfriends can't be easy, Leon agrees. You want to try walking on that ankle of yours? Can't I just stay in bed forever? Dinner and more whiskey if you can get downstairs. I shoot him a look. He looks back, perfectly placid, and I realize what an excellent nurse he must be. Fine. But you need to look away first, so I can put my trousers on. He doesn't say anything about the fact that he's already seen way too much for turning around to be necessary. He just swivels in the armchair and reopens Twilight. Leon definitely don't get drunk. Am telling myself this on repeat, but still can't stop sipping my drink. It's a whiskey on the rocks. Horrible. Or it would be if Babs hadn't said it was on the house, which instantly made it much more appetizing. At a rickety wooden table with a sea view and a teapot with a big fat candle stuck in it. Tiffy is delighted with teapot candle holder. Hugh animated conversation with waiting staff about interior design, or interiors, as they call it. Tiffy has her foot up and resting on a cushion, as per Sosha's orders. The other foot is now up too. She's basically horizontal at the table, hair thrown back and blazing against the sunset over the sea. She's like a Renaissance painting. Whiskey has painted the color back in her cheeks and brought a slight flush to the skin of her chest, which I can't stop looking at whenever her attention is elsewhere. Have barely thought about anything but her all day, even before all the drowning started. Mr. Pryor's search for Johnny White has shifted into the background. Last week that project was what Kay would call my fixation. Now it feels like something I want because I've shared it with Tiffy. She's telling me about her parents. Every so often she tips her head back, throws her hair further over the back of her chair, half closes her eyes at Tiffy. Aromatherapy is the only one that's stuck. Mum did candle making for a while, but there's no money in that, and after a while she just sort of snapped and declared that she was buying the ones from Poundland again and nobody was allowed to tell her they told her so. Then she went through a really weird phase where she got into seances. That snaps me out of staring at her. Me. Seances, Tiffy. Yeah, you know, when you sit around a table and try to talk to dead people. Waiter appears at Tiffy's foot's chair. Looks at it, mildly puzzled, but doesn't comment. You get the impression they're used to all sorts here, including bedraggled people with their feet up as they eat. Waiter, would you like a pudding? Tiffy, oh, no, I'm stuffed, thanks. Waiter, Babs says it's on the house. Tiffy, without pause, sticky toffee pudding. Please. Me, same here. Tiffy, all this free stuff. It's like a dream come true. I should drown more often, me. Please don't. She lifts her head to look at me properly, her eyes a little sleepy, and holds my gaze for a few seconds longer than is strictly necessary. Clear throat. Swallow. Flounder for subject. Me, your mom did seances, Tiffy. Oh, yeah. So for a couple of years while I was at secondary school, I'd come home to find all the curtains drawn and a bunch of people saying, "Please make yourself known," and knock once for yes, twice for no. I reckon at least 60% of the visitations were actually just me getting home and chucking my bag in the cupboard under the stairs. So what was after seances? Tiffy thinks about it. Sticky toffee pudding arrives. It's enormous and drenched in toffee sauce. Tiffy makes an excited noise which makes my stomach clench. Ridiculous. Can't be getting turned on by a woman moaning about pudding. Must pull self together. Sip more whiskey, Tiffy, mouth full of pudding. She made curtains for a bit. But the upfront costs were massive, so that turned into making doilies. And then it was aromatherapy. Me. Is that why we have so many scented candles? Tiffy smiles. Tiffy, yeah, the ones in the bathroom are all carefully chosen with scents that help you relax. Me. They have the opposite effect on me. Have to move them every time I want to shower. Tiffy gives me a cheeky look over her spoon. Tiffy, some people are beyond aromatherapeutic help. You know, my mum chose my perfume too. It reflects and enhances my personality, apparently. Think of that first day when I walked into the flat and smelled her perfume, cut flowers and spice markets, and how odd it felt, having someone else's scent in my flat. It's never strange now. Would be odd to come home to anything else. Me, what's that then? Tiffy, promptly, top note rose, then musk, then clove. Which means, according to my mum, crinkles her nose a little in thought. Tiffy, hope, fire, strength, looks amused. Tiffy, that's me, apparently. Me, sounds about right. She rolls her eyes at that, having none of it. Tiffy, skint, mouthy, stubborn would be better, probably what she meant anyway. Me, definitely tipsy now, what would I be, then? Tiffy tilts her head. She looks right at me again, with an intensity that makes me half want to look away, half want to lean across the table and kiss her over the candle teapot. Tiffy, well, there's hope in there, definitely. Your brother's relying on it, that catches me by surprise. There are so few people who really know about Richie, even fewer who'll bring him up unprompted. She's watching me, testing for my reaction, like she'll pull away if it hurts. I smile. Feels good to talk about him like this. Like it's normal. Me, so I get rose smell in my aftershave. Tiffy makes a face. Tiffy, there's probably a whole different set of smells if you're a man. I am only versed in the art of perfumery for women. I'm afraid. I want to push her for the other words, want to hear what she thinks of me, but it's conceited to ask. So we sit in silence instead, candle flame darting back and forth between us in its teapot, and I sip more whiskey. Tiffy, I am not drunk, but I'm not exactly sober either. People always say swimming in the sea makes you hungry. Well, nearly drowning in it makes you a lightweight. Plus, whiskey on the rocks is really very strong. I can't stop giggling. Leon is definitely tipsy too. He's loosened up at the shoulders, and that lopsided smile is almost a permanent fixture now. Plus he's stopped trying to smooth his hair down, so every so often a new curl breaks free and bobs up to stick out sideways, telling me about when he was a kid, living in Cork, and the elaborate mantraps he and Richie would come up with to piss off their mum's boyfriend, which is why I'm giggling. Hang on, you'd string wire across the hall? Didn't everyone else trip up too? Leon shakes his head. We'd sneak out and set up after Mam had put us to bed. Wiz always stayed late at the pub. It was a real education in swear words, hearing him trip over. I laugh. His name was Wiz? Ma'am. Though, I would guess, not by birth. His expression sobers. He was one of the worst for Mam, actually. Awful to her, always telling her how stupid she was. And yet she always stuck with him. Always let him back in every time she kicked him out. She was doing this adult learning course when they got together, but he soon had her dropping out. I scowl. The mantrap story suddenly isn't so funny anymore. Seriously? What an absolute fucking prick. Leon looks a little startled. Did I say the wrong thing? I ask. No. He smiles. No, just surprising. Again. You'd give Wiz a run for his money in a swearing contest. I incline my head. Why, thank you, I say. What about your and Richie's dad? Was he not in the picture? Leon is almost as horizontal as I am now. He's sharing my foot chair, his feet crossed at the ankles, and he's dangling his whiskey glass between his fingers, spinning it back and forth in the candlelight. There's hardly anyone else left here. The waiting staff are discreetly clearing tables over on the other side of the room. He left when Richie was born, moved to the US. I was 2. I don't remember him, or just the odd shape and sort of. He waves a hand. The odd feeling. Ma'am almost never talks about him. All I know is he was a plumber from Dublin. I widen my eyes. I can't imagine not knowing any more than that about my father, but Leon says it like it's nothing. He clocks my expression and shrugs. It's just never been a thing for me. Finding out more about him. It bothered Richie in his teens, but don't know where he got with it. We don't talk about it. It feels like there's more to be said there, but I don't want to push him and ruin the evening. I reach across and lay my hand on his wrist for a moment. He shoots me another surprised, curious look. The waiter drifts closer, perhaps sensing that our aimless conversation is unlikely to move anywhere else if he doesn't do something to nudge things along. He starts clearing the last bits and pieces from our table. I belatedly take my hand from Leon's wrist. We should go to bed, shouldn't we? I say, probably, Leon says. Is Babs still about? He asks the waiter. He shakes his head. She went home. Ah. Did she say which room was mine? She said Tiffy and I could stay over. The waiter looks at me, then Leon, then me again. He says. I think she assumed you were. It takes Leon a while to clock the issue. When he realizes, he groans and facepalms. It's all right, I say, getting the giggles again. We're used to sharing a bed. Right, says the waiter, looking between us again, more puzzled than ever. Well. That's good then? Not at the same time, Leon tells him. We share a bed at different times. Right, the waiter repeats. Well, shall I? Do you need me to do something? Leon waves a hand good-naturedly. No, you go home, he says. I'll just sleep on the floor. It's a big bed, I tell him. It's fine, we can just share. I let out a yelp. I'd been way too ambitious with trying to put weight on my sprained ankle as I get up from the table. Leon is at my side in an instant. He has very fast reactions for a man who has consumed quite a lot of whiskey. I'm okay, I tell him, but I let him put his arm around me to help support me as I hop-walk. After a certain amount of that, when we get to the stairs, he says, "Feck it," and picks me up again to carry me. I shriek in surprise and then burst out laughing. I don't tell him to put me down. I don't want him to. Again I see the polished banister and quirky pictures in their curly gilt frames sliding by as he jogs me up the stairs. Again he opens the door to my room, our room, with his elbow and carries me through the doorway. Kicking the door shut again behind him, he lays me on the bed. The room is almost dark, the light from the street lamp outside the window casting soft yellow triangles across the duvet and running gold through Leon's hair. His big, brown eyes stare down at me, his face only inches from mine as he gently takes his arm from underneath me to settle my head on the pillows. He doesn't move. We stare at one another, our gazes locked, just a breath or two between us. The moment hangs taut, charged with possibility. A little flicker of panic sparks somewhere in the back of my mind. What if I can't do this without freaking out? But I'm aching for him to kiss me, and the panic flickers out again, blissfully forgotten. I can feel Leon's breath on my lips, see his eyelashes in the half-light, then he closes his eyes and pulls back, turning his head aside with a quick sigh as if he was holding his breath. Oof, I pull back too, suddenly uncertain, and that taut silence between us breaks. Did I misread that whole gazes locked, staring at each other, lips almost touching thing, my skin's hot, my pulse fluttering. He glances back at me, there's still heat in his eyes and a little frown between his eyebrows. I'm sure he was thinking about kissing me. Maybe I did something wrong. I'm a little out of practice with all this, after all. Or maybe the Justin curse has stretched to ruining kisses before they even begin. Leon lies back on the bed. He's looking miserably awkward, and as he fidgets with his shirt I wonder if I should take the lead and kiss him. Just press myself up beside him and turn his face towards mine. But what if I've misunderstood the situation and this is one of those times when I should just let things drop? I lie down carefully beside him. We should probably go to sleep? I say, yeah. His voice is low and quiet. I clear my throat. Well, I guess that's that then. He shifts a little. His arm brushes mine. My skin turns goosebumpy. I hear him breathe in as we touch, just a quiet huff of startlement, and then he's up, heading for the bathroom, and I'm left here with my goosebumps and my heart fluttering, staring at the ceiling. Leon, her breathing slows. Risk a sideways glance at her, can just make out the soft fluttering of her eyelids as she dreams. She's asleep, then. I breathe out slowly, trying to relax. Really hope I have not messed this up. It was very out of character for me, picking her up like that, lying her down on the bed. It just seemed like... I don't know. Tiffy is so impulsive it's contagious. But then, of course, am still me, so impulsiveness ran out at potentially crucial moment, to be replaced by familiar, panicked indecision. She's drunk and injured. You don't kiss drunk injured women. Do you? Maybe you do. Maybe she wanted that. Richie gets the reputation for being the romantic, but it's always been me. He used to call me a pussy when we were teenagers, him chasing anything that'd give him so much as a look, me pining after the girl I'd fancied since primary school and been too scared to talk to. I've always been the one who thinks before they fall, though both of us fall just as hard. I swallow. Think of the feeling of Tiffy's arm pressed against mine, how the hairs on my forearm stood on end at the merest brush of her skin. Stare at the ceiling. Realize belatedly that curtains are still open, street light streaming in to light our room in ribbons. As I lie there, thinking, watching the light move across the floor, it comes to me slowly that I haven't been in love with Kay for a very long time. Loved her, felt close to her, liked her being part of my life. That was safe and easy. But I had forgotten the blazing can't think of anything else madness of these early days of meeting someone. There wasn't even a spark of that left with Kay for the last year, maybe, even. I look across at Tiffy again, her eyelashes casting shadows on her cheeks, and think back to what she's told me about Justin. Notes made me feel he wasn't especially good to her. Why did she have to pay back that money all of a sudden? But nothing as alarming as what she'd said on the train. But then, as much as they were significant to me, they were just notes. Easier to lie to yourself in writing and for nobody to spot it. Head is too full of panic, regret and whiskey buzz for me to sleep. Stare up at the ceiling. Listen to Tiffy's breath. Play out all the ways it could have gone, if we'd kissed and she'd stopped me, if we'd kissed and she hadn't. Best not to pursue that one. Thoughts becoming inappropriate, Tiffy turns over, dragging the duvet with her. Half of my body is now exposed to nighttime air. Can't really begrudge her, though. Important that she gets warm after near drowning. She turns over again. More duvet. Now only my right arm has coverage. Absolutely cannot sleep like this. I'll have to just pull it back. Try it gently at first, but it's like playing tug-of-war. The woman has the duvet in a vice-like grip. How can she be this strong when unconscious, going to have to opt for an assertive yank? Maybe she won't wake up. Maybe she'll just eat Tiffy. Ow, she came with the duvet, rolling over, and I seem to have migrated towards the middle too, and now we're face to face in the darkness, tantalizingly close. My breath quickens. Her cheeks are flushed, her eyes heavy with sleep. I belatedly clock that she just said ow. The movement must have jerked her ankle. Me, sorry. Sorry, Tiffy, confused. Did you try and pull the duvet off me? Me, no. I was trying to get it back. Tiffy blinks. I really want to kiss her. Could I kiss her now? She's probably sobered up. But then she winces at the pain in her ankle and I feel like the world's worst human being. Tiffy, get it back from where? Me. Well, you sort of stole it all, Tiffy. Oh. Sorry. Next time, just wake me up and tell me. I'll go right back to sleep. Me. Oh, okay. Sure. Sorry. Tiffy shoots me a half-amused, half-asleep look as she rolls back over, pulling the duvet up to her chin. I turn my head into the pillow. Don't want her to see that I'm smiling like a love-struck teenager because she just said next time. Tiffy, I wake to the daylight, which is much less pleasant than people make it sound. We didn't close the curtains last night. I turn my face away from the window instinctively, rolling over and realizing the right-hand side of the bed is empty. At first, it feels totally normal. I wake up every day in Leon's bed without him there, after all. My sleepy brain goes, oh, of course, no, hang on, wait, there's a note on his pillow, gone out in search of breakfast. Back soon, bearing pastries. I smile, and roll back the other way to check the time on my phone on the bedside table. Shit. 27 missed calls, all from an unknown number. What the? I scramble out of bed, heart thumping, then yelp with pain as I knock my ankle. Fuck. I dial voicemail, a bad feeling blooming in the base of my stomach. It's like, yesterday was too good to be true. Something terrible has happened. I knew I shouldn't have. Tiffy, are you all right? I saw Rachel's status on Facebook. Did you nearly drown? It's Justin. I go very still as the message rolls on. Look, I know you're in a mood with me at the moment. But I need to know you're okay. Call me back, there are more like this. 12 more, to be precise. I'd deleted his number after a particularly girl power-inducing counseling session, so that'd be why the calls came from an unknown number. I think I knew who it was going to be, though. Nobody else has ever called me that many times before, but Justin has, usually after a fight or a breakup. Tiffy. This is ridiculous. If I knew where you were, I'd come out there. Call me, all right? I shiver. This feels. I feel awful. Like yesterday with Leon should never have happened. Imagine if Justin knew where I'd been and what I'd been doing. I shake myself. I can feel that doesn't make sense even as I think it. I'm scaring myself again. I tap out a text. I'm fine, I lightly sprained my ankle. Please don't call me anymore. Within moments, he replies, oh, thank God. What are you like without me there to look after you? Hey. You made me so worried. I'll be good and stick to your rules, no contact until October. Just know I'll be thinking of you. 21 Stare at the message for a while. What are you like? As if I'm such a klutz. Yesterday Leon pulled me out of the sea, and yet this is the first time all weekend I've felt like the girl who needs rescuing. Fuck this. I hit block and delete all the voicemails from my phone. Asterisk. I hop to the bathroom. It's not the most dignified method of travel. The chintzy lamps on the walls are vibrating a little as I go, but something about the general stompiness is quite therapeutic. Stomp, stomp, stomp. Stupid, bloody, Justin. I slammed the bathroom door with satisfying force. Thank God Leon went out for breakfast, both because he avoided witnessing this mess of a morning and because he will hopefully return with something highly calorific to make me feel better. Once I've showered and redressed in yesterday's clothes, which, because they're covered in grainy, shingly grit, also ticks exfoliating off my to-do list, I hop back to the bed and launch myself onto it with a thud, burying my face in the pillow. Ugh. Yesterday was so lovely, and now I feel all horrible and mucky, like the voicemails left a taint on me. Still, I blocked him, something I would never have been able to bring myself to do a few months ago. Maybe I should be glad of all those voicemails for pushing me to do it. I sit up on my elbows and reach for the note Leon wrote me. It's on hotel stationery. The bunny hop-in is traced in jaunty letters across the bottom of the paper. The handwriting is just the same as ever, though Leon's neat, tiny, rounded letters. In a moment of embarrassing sentimentality, I fold the paper in half and reach to slip it into my handbag. There's a quiet knock on the door. Come in, I call. He's dressed in a giant t-shirt with a picture of 3 sticks of rock on the front, and Brighton rocks in big letters underneath. My mood immediately improves about tenfold. There's nothing like a man in a novelty t-shirt to brighten up your morning, especially when he's holding a very promising paper bag with Patisserie Valerie written on the side, one of Babs's finest. I say, pointing at the t-shirt, my new personal stylist, Leon says. He passes me the bag of pastries and sits down on the end of the bed, smoothing his hair back. He's nervous again. Why do I find his nervous fidgeting so adorable? You made it to the shower okay? He asks eventually, nodding towards my wet hair. With your foot, I mean? I showered flamingo style. I curl one knee up. He smiles. Getting one of those lopsided grins from him feels like winning at a game I wasn't aware I was playing. The door doesn't lock, though. I thought you might walk in on me, but it seems Karma was busy elsewhere this morning. He makes a strangled sort of mom sound and busies himself eating his croissant. I suppress a smile. An unfortunate side effect of finding his nervous fidgeting adorable is that I seem unable to resist saying things I know will make him fidget, but anyway, you've basically seen me naked, I go on. Twice. Already. So you wouldn't have been in for any huge surprises. He looks up at me this time. Basically, he says emphatically, is not the same as actually. Some key differences, in fact, my stomach flips. Whatever that awkwardness was last night, I definitely wasn't imagining the sexual tension. The air is heavy with it. It should be me worrying about the lack of surprises, he says. You've actually seen me naked. I did wonder, when I walked in on you in the shower, did you? He disappears in the direction of the bathroom so fast I barely hear the excuse he makes as he goes. As he closes the door behind him and turns the shower on, I smile. I guess there's my answer. Rachel will be delighted. Leon have never thought this hard about the notes before. Was much easier when I was just scribbling random thoughts to friend who I had not met. Now I'm carefully crafting messages to woman who has taken up residence in most of my waking thoughts. It's terrible. Sit down with pen and post-it and suddenly forget all the words. Her messages are cheeky, flirty, noisily her. This was the first after the weekend in Brighton, fixed to the bedroom door with blue tack, so, hey, roomie. How's the transition back to nocturnal life gone today? I see that Fatima and family went through the bins again while we were away, little minxes. I wanted to write and say thanks again for whisking me out of the sea. Just make sure you fall in a large body of water at some point so I can return the favor, you know, in the name of equality. Also because I feel like you'd really own the whole Mr. Darcy just out of the lake look. XX mine are stilted and overthought. Write them when I get in from work, then rewrite them before I walk out the door, then regret them all night in the hospice. Until I get home to a reply and feel instantly better again. Thus the cycle repeats. Eventually, on Wednesday, I muster the courage to leave this one on the kitchen counter. Weekend plans? X was paralyzed by self-doubt as soon as I'd left the building and got far enough away for going back to be inconceivable. In retrospect, was a very short note. Perhaps too short for meaning to be clear? Perhaps insultingly short? Why is this so difficult? Now, though, I'm feeling better. Well, I'll be home alone this weekend. Do you fancy coming over and cooking me your mushroom stroganoff? I've only ever had it reheated, and I bet it's even better fresh out the oven. 21 Reach for a post-it and scribble my reply, Tiffin for dessert? X** Richie, you're nervous, aren't you? Me, no. No, Richie snorts. He's in good mood. He's generally in a good mood now. He calls Gertie at least every other day to catch up on appeal case progress. So much to talk about. Calls every other day are apparently essential. Evidence re-examined. Witnesses coming forward. And, at last, CCTV obtained. Me, okay. A bit nervous. Richie, you'll be great, man. You know she's into you. What's the plan? Is tonight the night? Me, of course not. Far too soon. Richie, have you shaved your legs just in case? Don't deign to respond to this. Richie chuckles. Richie, I like her, man. You've got a good one. Me, not sure I've got her yet. Richie, what? You think, the ex, me, she doesn't love him anymore. But it's complicated. I'm a bit worried about her. Richie, was he a prick? Hey me, Richie, he hurt her. Gut twists at the thought. Me, to some degree, I think. She doesn't really talk about it with me, but got a bad feeling about him. Richie, shit, man. Are we dealing with some kind of post-trauma situation here? Me, you think so? Richie, you're speaking to the king of the night sweats. I dunno, I haven't met her, but if she is still processing some shit she had to deal with, all you can do is be there and let her decide when she's ready for whatever. The trauma of the trial and first month in prison hit Richie about 6 weeks into his sentence. Shaking hands, sudden terrors, intrusive flashbacks, jumping at the slightest noises. The last part always annoyed him the most. He seemed to think that particular brand of PTSD should be reserved for people whose trauma had actually involved loud noises, like soldiers. Richie, and don't try and make the decision for her. Don't assume she can't be feeling better yet. That's her call. Me, you're a good man, Richard. To me, Richie, hold that thought and tell it to the judges in 3 weeks' time. Bro** arrive at the flat at 5ish. Tiffy's with Mo and Gertie for the day. Weird, being here at a weekend. It's her flat now, stop short of shaving legs, but do spend inordinately long time getting ready. Can't stop thinking about where we're each going to sleep tonight. Will I go back to Mam's, or sleep here? We've already shared a bed in Brighton. I consider messaging to say I'll stay at Mam's tonight, to show goodwill. But decide that's putting nail in coffin earlier than necessary, and is an example of making decisions for her, as advised against by Richie, so I leave it be, key in door. I try to spring up from the beanbag, but that would be impossible even for a person with thighs of steel, so Tiffy walks in to find me in a half squat, attempting to extricate myself. Tiffy, laughing, it's like quicksand, isn't it? She looks beautiful. Tight blue top and a long floaty gray skirt with bright pink shoes that she proceeds to balance on her good leg to remove, and move to give her a hand, but she waves me off, hiking herself up to sit on kitchen counter and make the job easier. Her ankle looks more mobile, though, good sign. Seems to be healing well. She raises her eyebrows at me. Tiffy, checking out my ankles. Me, purely medical interest. Tiffy grins at me, sliding down from the counter and limping over to examine the pot on the hob. Tiffy, smells amazing. Not me. Something told me you'd like mushroom stroganoff. She smiles over her shoulder, and I want to move behind her, put my arms around her waist and kiss her neck. Resist the urge, on account of it being very presumptuous and inappropriate. Tiffy, that was in your cubbyhole downstairs, by the way. She points to small white envelope on the kitchen counter, addressed to me. I open it. It's an invite, handwritten in careful, slightly wobbly joined-up letters. Dear Leon, I am having a birthday party on Sunday because I am going to be 8. Please come. Bring your friend Tiffy who likes knitting. Sorry that this is late. Mum says your proper invitation got lost at St. Mark's by one of the nurses who is rubbish, and then they said we couldn't have your address, but they said they will send this for us, so I hope they got it right anyway. Please come. Holly smile and show it to Tiffy. Me, maybe not what you had planned for tomorrow. Tiffy, looking delighted, she remembers me, she was obsessed with you. We don't have to go though. Tiffy, are you joking? We're totally going. Please. You only turn 8 once, Leon.